Assalamu alaikum, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the realest podcast in the dunya, the three Muslims. Very important stuff today. Rami, Anham, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind right now is you know that Kevin Samuels dude in the red pill sphere, the manosphere thing.
Mm,
What days does he go live?
not sure.
Because just like him, we should have a day where we go live as well.
You mean like a schedule?
Yeah, like a schedule is like
I
everyone
like that. I
knows.
like
Okay,
that.
yeah, this is the T3M. This is when they're going live, and no
Hmm.
one can go live at the
Yeah, there's
same
no other
time.
channel will like legally
Yeah,
be able
yeah,
to go
yeah,
live
yeah.
around that time.
That's what I'm thinking about.
All right, bro. Let's get back after the intro. There's another thing too. It's the perseverance aspect too. Like we're more willing to stick through with things that we set out with an intention.
It's impossible to have empathy for others if you're not patient. So may Allah bless you for that.
First off, I'm gonna agree with the fact that the whole thing you said about friends, where it's like if they're affecting you more than you're affecting them, then you should probably get some new friends.
You want to be investing in stocks, shares, bonds. You want to be investing in crypto because there's this thing called inflation, which means every year that passes by, the value of a dollar goes lower and lower and lower. And the reason being is because they're printing more money, right? That's why money is haram. At least the paper money is haram.
Provided that you're actually there and you're being a good father and the mother's being a good mother, best conditions.
And behind the mic, Hamza, Andreas, Zortsis. We will go in with our final three with brother Angel, inshallah.
Inshallah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
It's not just a responsibility on you, it's responsibility on all the children, especially your father.
In our private area is very elastic, and yeah, if you go too fast, the skin will literally crease up into like the edge of like the little clipper things, and you will literally clip your skin. You don't want to be on YouTube or the internet or anything that amount of time, but it's the fact is that's what we're doing. Bro, that was way too long of an
All right,
intro.
all right, all right. Before we go in, bro, I had a question, bro. Is the skin in our private area actually that sensitive to the point where it creases up?
Very sensitive. It's very
There we go, bro.
flexible. Very flexible.
All right, all right. So it's been a really, I want to say, rather nasty week, bro. We got Superman coming out as bi. We got Batman coming out as try. No, I'm kidding, bro. Batman didn't come out as try. There was this whole thing of the woman tearing down the ads. By the way, guys, yes, this is live. Like, don't think that it's like it's Friday right now, 10:39 a.m. Eastern time. This is not like some pre-recorded lecture. Become a member. Thing is pinned on the live chat to participate in the live chat. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome to the cult.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the cult.
Okay, so shout out to that for the first comment. Okay, aside from that, it's been a really weird week, bro. Like I want to be honest with you, like these things happening in the media in the news, it's not something like new. You know what I mean? And when you look at just the way Muslims are portrayed, just the way society is moving today, it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. So with that being said, bro, there was a phase in my life where before getting into this, where I would watch Netflix or I would watch movies or Hollywood. And it would kind of be like just operating under, I guess, the programming. So you see these types of things and you don't really bat an eye, they don't really stick out. You don't question things much. But now it's almost like there's things where it's almost they're so normalized, people don't question it, but I notice these things. I'm sure you guys notice some of these things too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So what do you got to say about that?
To be completely honest, it's like it's almost what's to be expected from this kind of society. They have a very specific agenda. They have a very specific thing that they want to push onto people, and every TV shows like, oh, we want to represent everyone, and by everyone they just mean the people that society cares about, which is LGBTQ predominantly, I would say. Because now
Alphabet
there's some
Gang.
form of LGBTQ in like every single show, and sometimes multiple representations of it. But when they represent a Muslim, it's always a Muslim woman who is like oppressed and ends up taking her hijab off. And I know that's said a lot, but it's because that's the truth. That is the cliche. There's even one show where it was like a female like police officer or something, and she falls. You guys know those corn. What's it called? Those giant like things at farms with like seeds or corn in it or something like that. I don't think it's corn. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but yeah, where like she fell, she had her hijab on, she fell from the top through to the bottom, and she came out with her hijab off. And then it was supposed to be some amazing moment for like the white guys that jumped in, like stopped the cameras from being able to take pictures of her. I'm like, the whole thing is like you're making a show about how people are stopping people from recording her. And it's like, you're recording her, you're recording that. And it's like, well, what's the matter with you? Why not just have a woman who wears her hijab, who keeps it on, and there's no issue?
Nah,
Why does
bro.
every single woman have to take it off or have it fall off in some way?
Mm.
Or have, if someone takes it off, have them get the life kicked out of them, because that's what should happen in real life. But that's not what they want to show.
Let's talk about it, bro. Let's go right in. Number one, namely, the predominant issue that I've noticed is the normalization of co-parenting or dysfunctional households. All right. Let me know if you guys have noticed this. Like every single show or movie that you watch, you see like a little girl or a little boy, and they're spending like, I don't know, the day, or today it's like the time to spend at mom's, and then tomorrow's at dad's. It's almost like you rarely see like a functional, complete household now. It's always like split between this co-parenting thing, and it's very normalized to the point where like people don't even question anymore. Like they're painting divorce and just this. There's no stigma against divorce, by the way, and at least in Islam. Like Islam, divorce is permissible, but that's not the point. The point is, statistically, most households, if you look around, they're not incomplete. Most of your friends growing up didn't come from divorced families, but they're portraying it as it's like occurring 95%. That's literally the narrative. You know what I mean? So did you guys notice that?
Yeah, and on top of that, the kid is usually some disrespectful brat, like all the time. Like the parents disagree with them, and the kid's like, "I hate you, mom. I hate you, dad." It's like, how dare you not let me date this guy that's like 11 years older than me?
Okay, and that's like some subtle level of programming too, because the kid's gonna watch that.
Yeah.
And by the way, with the whole lockdown and everything like that, kids aren't really spending time outdoors. So kids just gonna see that movie and they're gonna be like, "Oh, look at the way that kid's acting with their parents." Therefore, every kid must be acting like that with their parents. Therefore, why am I being polite? Why am I not cussing? Why am I being respectful? Why am I not being noisy and unruly? So it kind of goes to show where a lot of these diffusion of responsibility situations are coming from.
Yeah, we're a product of our environment. We're a product of what we see. It's like a monkey see type thing. And I remember, I'll never forget this, right? When I went to get my motorcycle license, this one dude, he was an older man. He was probably like in his 40s or 50s. And then he looked at me, he's like, "You got presence. You got something about you." And he's like, you look like a leader." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, "But in order to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower." And I didn't understand it in the moment, but then like when I thought about it, I was like, damn, like we come into this world and like all we're doing is just observing everything and we're following, and it's monkey see, monkey do. So like if someone thinks just for a split second that like the TV shows that are going on, the music that's in this industry, our own actions, our parents' actions, friends, teachers, all this stuff. If someone thinks for a second that that doesn't affect us, that doesn't affect the kids,
Mm.
bro.
Bro, Before we go on with the observations, do you want to go a little bit into that, bro? What do you mean by to become a great leader, you must know how to become a great follower?
Well, in order to be a great leader, you first have to be a great follower, meaning that, like, let's say you want to be a great fighter. In order to be a great fighter, first you have to observe other great fighters and you have to basically mimic what they're doing. Otherwise, you're just kind of like trying to learn everything on your own when it was already there. So it's, again, it's monkey see, monkey do. You have to follow and learn before you can lead and teach.
Man, that's powerful, bro.
Yeah.
Man, there's another thing too, bro. Like, if I'm being honest, there's this normalization of adultery, fornication, cheating. It's like I was watching the show, subhanallah, and literally within the first couple seconds, there was like a couple just obviously doing what they're doing, and for the halal, please don't worry, I was lowering my gaze. And then literally like 2 seconds in, it was like, oh, you have to leave, like my daughter's coming home. You know what I mean? Like, where did the whole thing about a man and his wife being together, like, where did that go, bro? It's always like this normalizing this adultery, this cheating. And like kids are watching this and they're growing up seeing it and they're gonna think, oh, okay, that's normal, you know? Or if they are considering cheating or something like that, they're gonna be like, oh, look, it's so normal. Everyone's doing it. Because their whole measuring stick of human behavior is turning into Netflix. And the issue is when Netflix becomes the measuring stick of human behavior, and Netflix being the king of fahisha, what do you think is gonna happen, bro? Of course, they're just gonna model immorality and just this disgusting behavior that's going on.
Bro, and if you think the comic book stuff is getting bad, like, just imagine Netflix. Like, we don't have people kind of like actively speaking out right now, but like imagine what's going on in Netflix right now. That's like, it's just over our heads. Like, we're only seeing like the tip of the iceberg, and like the tip of the iceberg is already bad as it is.
I agree, bro. I agree. Harami, bro, what you got to say?
Yeah, subhanAllah, it's very unfortunate. And if you look at, the TV shows of the past, like go back to the early 2000s or, the 90s or the 80s or even back to like the 70s and before that, you'll see there's a progression. You'll see there's a time where they wouldn't really show much affection on camera. There wouldn't be much man to woman kind of stuff, maybe hand holding, something like that, the basic stuff. And then over time it progressed. That guy came out with like the Playboy Mansion, all of that. They actually had like pornographic movie theaters at a time, specifically for that. And then it moved on from being in movies to magazines to just being not exactly on standard TV, but more sexual on standard TV. And then after that, homosexuality on standard TV. And it just kept going and going and going. And now every single show that's being produced has to have some kind of sexual intimacy, whether it's straight, gay, trans, this, that, the other. And it's just progressing. And now this is the problem because the very beginning was an issue with promiscuity and this demonstration of intimacy, because this is not stuff that people should be watching, because Antal said monkey see monkey do. And I don't know what came first, the societal ideology, and this not ideology but the societal practice, or the practice in the TV show, right? I don't know if society influenced the TV or if TV influences society, or if it's a back and forth relationship. But as one got worse, the other got worse as well. There was a huge uptrend in women dressing down at the beach, for example, and people being intimate even in public. May Allah protect us from that. And this is a disease, man. Really.
I don't think it's either. You said, was it the society that affected the TV, or was it the TV that affected the society? I think it's something further than that. I think it's this group of people who have an ulterior motive. They have the hidden agenda as to like what they're doing with TV. Because think about it, when TV first came out, all it was a pastime. It was a way to enjoy yourself with your family or your friends or something, and it was something that you would do like maybe once a week, twice a week, or something like that. But other than that, like you were out. You were out either if you were a kid, you were playing with your friends. There weren't no video games, and I'm talking about way before our time because we're not even young or we're not even old enough to be living in this time that I'm talking about. But you had kids who were playing outside all the time. And then when they got older, they were still just being social, going out with people or doing other things besides the TV. The TV was something like, you know what? We don't have anything to do. We have the whole family here. Let's do something all together as a family and let's watch this little program that they got going on. But it's like over the years, if you look at how the TV has developed, how it now has way more than like 5 or 10 channels, that's for sure. And if you look at these channels, primarily the biggest thing are advertisements. They're pushing out advertisements, and all these advertisements work on a subconscious level, just like music works on a subconscious level. And then if you look at the TV programs, like you see today in Netflix and all that, look at all the subconscious messages that are being pushed out. And here's the problem. Here's where the biggest problem lies, is that people who watch TV regularly, and I'll say this for myself because when I used to watch TV regularly, it was a very like unconscious type act. It's like it didn't take any effort from me to turn on Netflix and just watch a series, binge watch a series, right? Like you get so hooked on the plot and like what's going on, whether it's anime, whether it's some kind of like random TV show or whatever it is, you get so hooked on it that it's like I would say your psychological barriers begin to drop down. And once your psychological barriers drop down, you are now open to receive whatever messages are being transmitted through the show in and of itself. It's like music. When you listen to music long enough, you get to a point where you submit to the music, and then it's like whatever message that music is thrown at you, you're taking that in 100%.
Yeah, I just want to say, guys, we got 75 viewers and only 48 likes. Come on, what is up with that? Please like the video. Really helps push the algorithm. But I hear what you're saying, bro. And it's like, subhanAllah, I wanted to add something. Like back then, there were only a finite, limited amount of channels too. There weren't 60, 70 channels with, late night things that kids can watch. And there was none of that, bro. There was literally like 2 or 3 channels. And you were probably watching when there were other people in the house. There was no internet. The good old days, bro.
Bro, and like the best days was Saturdays for me. I used to wake up Saturday morning. I forgot what channel it was, but like they used to throw on all the shows like Yu-Gi-Oh and all this stuff, bro. I don't know, but now it's changed. Now it's like it's always there. It's
You
weird,
guys,
bro.
you guys watch Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid?
Oh yeah,
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon, a whole bunch, bro. Samurai Jack. Y'all remember Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
No, what was that?
Yeah, bro, that one was legit. Powerpuff Girls,
Yeah, I remember that.
Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z.
Yo, y'all remember that weird, I think it was bi or trans. It was in Powerpuff Girls, bro. It was like that lobster looking thing.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
weird, bro. Even as a kid, I knew something was up with that.
Boy, Jojo.
And then, bro, today, like, that's like every character, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true.
SubhanAllah.
That's true.
Yeah. And again, I know I say this a lot, but I really want to push this point that everything that we're seeing in life is just a product of the basic foundation of our society, which is capitalism, secularism, liberalism. We have a society of people who are taught it's almost instinctive because their desires for us. We want to do these things, but on top of that, we have society that's teaching us to just let them go. They're not teaching us to restrain ourselves, right? Allah didn't just give us our nafs and our desires. Allah gave us our aql, our intelligence and knowledge and wisdom to be able to be like, yeah, but I probably shouldn't because I know it's probably not good for me in the long run, right? That's why there's so many people who post themselves online that instant gratification. That's why there's so many men that just watch women online, because that instant gratification. And that's why they put these things in these shows, because they know that this is the state of the people and they want to give the people what they want, but they don't understand that they're feeding into this very destructive disease. It is a cancer that's overtaking society. And this is why we have more rapists, because men are just disgusting nowadays, because they're all perverted because of what they watch. They like to watch, very, very demeaning things to women. And that's what society has pushed. That's why we have many perverted men. Also why we have a lot of, forgive me for using the term, but, cuckolds nowadays as well. A lot of people who lack ghira and so on and so forth. And this is a disease.
Yeah. No, that's facts. It's
but we're gonna come out with merch soon with "Don't Be Dayuth" t-shirts.
What does Dayuth mean?
Dayuth is a man who is not ghayub, meaning he lacks ghira.
True.
You know.
What I was gonna say, Rami. Assalamu alaikum. I mean, wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. So is Lewisham place or?
I think that's him. That's his name.
Yeah.
Nah, really?
Yeah, like Lewisham in the building, like Angel in the building, Fayed in the building. Well, Rami, what I was gonna say for you, bro, what you just said, I think the most important part that people need to start doing is just spending less time, whether that be watching TV, whether that be on social media or just on electronics in general, because it'll develop more awareness. And then it's like, now when you do go onto social media, now when you do go and watch that TV show or that anime series that you want to watch, it's like, now you have awareness and you can actually kind of break down and see what's going on.
I knew it.
Oh, true. Yeah. But you can kind of see, you can see what's going on behind the scenes, It's kind of like when we used to watch Disney movies. I don't know if y'all watched Disney movies in the past, but when I was a kid and I watched Disney movies, it's like, it was one thing, but then once I started becoming aware of like all these different ideologies and these different like isms and just things that are being pushed, and then I watched Disney movies again, I was like, I didn't see that before. It's also the only reason why all of us now are psychologically way different from before, when people didn't have as many mental obstacles as it is so common now. That is facts.
That is very true. Very true. Yeah. Society is suffering from depression, anxiety, mental illness, an immense amount. It's very true.
Let's talk about this test. Have you guys seen the movie Jamie on Netflix? A gay boy kisses a Muslim girl. Okay, let's talk about that. So, the portrayal and dehumanization and degradation of Muslim men and women, particularly sisters. This is something I've been noticing on Netflix, and particularly the film industry as a whole. You have a woman, and the said narrative goes as follows: she's oppressed. She comes from a family that is culturally oppressive and abusive towards women, right? Un-Islamic completely, because I don't know where this issue came from, where this ideology came from, that women are to be less valued than men just because they're women. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't fathom like where this even came from. This is not from Islam, because if you think about it, Islam literally came as an antidote to stop this cultural, I guess, dissociation between men and women in value. So, okay, Taib, they have this family, just like there's non-Muslim kuffar families putting men over women. So I don't know why they're equating this to Islam, but cool. It's always some culturally either Pakistani or African family, from what I've noticed. The woman is just like, she's shunned, she's oppressed, and she needs to be liberated. Furthermore, it's never going to be in a Muslim country. It's always going to be like, this Muslim woman is going to be in a non-Muslim land, a kuffar land, and she's surrounded by men and women that are drinking, committing zina, and they're free, quote unquote. And she gets a taste of this. This is usually how the plot goes, right? Because Shaitan's not gonna just let the kuffar do the things and keep the Muslims pious. So then she's like, she goes home, she wants to partake in this, and there's now this barrier, right? And the way they portray this barrier is it's very subtle. They usually portray the barrier, I guess, directly or overtly, uh, explicitly as the family. You get what I mean? It's like the family is getting in the way from this girl, from spreading her wings and being liberated, whatever that entails. You guys know what I mean? The subtle, implicit, underlying, covert message, though, is that the barrier is Islam. But they're not gonna just put that right out there because that's too much. It's like it's way too obvious now. You know what I mean? So essentially, what they're saying is Islam is preventing this girl from being free. Therefore, we need to come liberate this oppressed woman. So essentially, then the woman goes on her own self, I guess, expressing journey of spreading her wings and flying and doing all this, and she finally gets to be free. Now, the take-home message from that is, we, the West, we were right all along. Y'all, the Muslims, y'all were backwards and twisted and barbaric. So this is how it should be. And a person walking away from this TV show or movie, they're not gonna have a good taste in their mouth about Islam. What do? They put movies like Cuties, a movie to normalize pedophilia. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Little girls shaking their rears on camera and wearing little skimpy outfits. And enough is enough. This has gone too far. And what do you know? As soon as I hear that plot, wallahi, I didn't know it's a Muslim family, but I guessed it. And as soon as it came out, it was a Muslim family. You got another movie with a hijabi. Ali Dawah made a video about this. This is outrageous. You got a hijabi breaking her fast with a shot of alcohol. And to top it off, right before it, Bismillah, drinks it. I was watching a TV show called Midnight Mass, and there's a sheriff, Sheriff Hassan, the only Muslim guy. Of course, Google it. The actor is Hindu. He's not even Muslim. When he's praying, he's not even, sitting properly. So it's just like the representation of real Islam is completely lacking, of course, but the misrepresentation of Islam, it's just everywhere, bro.
Yeah. SubhanAllah. It's funny that you mentioned that, like they're trying to portray Islam as a barrier, because Islam is the barrier. And Netflix is one of the most powerful weapons used to fight Islamic values in Islam. It should be boycotted by Muslims at all costs, 100%. 100%. And that's just one of the things. That's just one of the problems.
Yeah.
Because, as I was saying, most community are plugging and getting brainwashed. Yeah. And that actually ties into what I'm about to say about Netflix and everything. The barrier is Islam. And the problem is not them showing that Islam is the barrier. That's actually what we want. We want people to know Islam is the barrier to immorality. But the point is that they have to stress that on the other side of that barrier is immorality and not freedom. It's not freedom liberation. You think it is. When you're on the other side, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious. You're going to want to kill yourself eventually. You're going to hate the way you look. You're going to hate the way you feel. You're going to hate who you are. And you're going to want things that are completely unachievable. And you're going to end up hating your life. You're going to end up wanting to kill yourself. That's what's on the other side. On the side of Islam is beauty and contentment with remembrance of Allah. It's the knowledge of Jannah, being able to go to Jannah, being protected from the fire of hell. It's protection from immorality. It's protection from basically from yourself, harming yourself. Because they even know how to protect yourself, subhanAllah. I've noticed that with shows that include Muslim women, there's always either a gay, trans character included. Like they want to appear that they are okay with Muslims when really they are not. Yeah.
Bro, and just to top it all off, this is how they act subtly. This is how they work. They try to influence us through freedom, because every human has this innate feeling of wanting to be free, because that's how Allah created us, with free will, right? With free will. So freedom is a part of free will, because we have the choice now to make whatever decision we're going to make, and we have to reap whatever consequence is of the decision that we make. Now, because they've realized this, each human reacts to freedom, right? They say, okay, well, we don't have to tell them, hey, no, we're not, don't do this. We're just going to subtly slide it in there where we plant this seed and then the seed begins to grow in their head, and then they start thinking to themselves, ah, Islam is not preventing, or Islam is preventing me from being free. So and so is preventing me from being free. My parents, they're preventing me from being free. Like they put all this stuff in there subtly to where after a while, like if the person is not aware, they're going to basically adopt those thoughts that were implanted there, and then they're going to take it as their own, and then they're going to start rebelling and doing all this stuff when it's like, yo, it was all fake to begin with. Like you're most free when you're with Allah, when you're with the Creator, when you're in Islam. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, bro. I'm gonna leave it there.
Man. That's facts. 100%.
I was getting fired up. That comment that said get the likes up, guys. What are you doing? We got over 100 viewers, mashallah. It's been under half an hour. Please get the likes up. It helps promote the video. All right.
What was that comment?
Oh, the one when Anha was going off?
Yeah.
Let's see. T3M, do you brothers believe reformists have a massive part to play alongside these disgusting Netflix Hollywood movie series? Yeah, 100%. These reformists like I and Hirsi Ali, like their whole narrative is we escaped and now look, this is what needs to be done to make Islam more appropriate for society, but not freaking question why society is so degenerate and should be used by the standard of the measuring stick of Islam.
Yeah.
Like they're asking the wrong questions, bro, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother Anna is right. The user desires against us to doubt anything that restricts this desire. The assumption is that desire is the only principle that is valuable. Facts.
Yeah. That is literally one of the principles of capitalism, that people should go for what makes them feel good.
Facts. Why do you think there's a collective push to be so progressive by every media outlet? Okay. Very good question. Test. Jazakallah khair. So my understanding of it, my limited understanding of it, my finite understanding of it as just another human being, bro, because there is, again, I can't claim to know the end all be all truth of how the system is working, but what I believe it is there's a tremendous push, I believe, to divide and conquer. This unity, Islam was sent for everyone. Islam wasn't sent for you to have achieving salvation if you're ethnocentric, region-centric, nothing like that. Islam was for everyone. Islam was truly meant to unify the ummah, the human race. Now, society, the Dajjalic system, all it's trying to do is trying to divide and conquer. You got the LGBT, even in there, you got the spectrum, you got liberal, conservative. Bro, that's all part of the same thing, man. When are you guys gonna open your eyes? There's no like us versus them. They got yes to vaxxed, and then you got anti-vaxxed, or you got yes to mask, anti-mask. Like everything has just us and them. And when you keep creating these divisions in society, what you're gonna end up with is just people that go with status quo and people that go against status quo. And this has to do with hardwired biological mechanisms in us. We used to be part of tribes, believe it or not. And when somebody, believe it or not, doesn't fit the good or best interest of the tribe, they get kicked out of the tribe. And we have this innate subconscious mechanism in us that we do not want to get kicked out of the tribe, because that breeds uncertainty, that breeds danger. And when that comes, we're going to do everything we can to stay a part of this tribe, meaning as in stay plugged into the matrix, stay a part of status quo, stuff like that. We got a question for Anha. Very recurring question, but I'm pinning nonetheless.
I try to stand all day if I can. It's actually best for us to stand all day. Allah created our bodies for movement, not to be sitting down. And they actually have studies on this, where when you sit down for X amount of time, number one, your blood flow begins to become less and less. And with less blood flow means your body is burning less calories, so your metabolism slows down. And then if you have less blood flow, you're more prone to have more inflammation, which you know what inflammation does in the body. So it's best. I sit down like to eat and stuff, and maybe like towards the end of the night to chill out. But standing up, I like standing up. It's good.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Interesting name. What is the topic of today's talk? It's in the title, Akhi. Hamza Khan, before I read this, guys, if you guys are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, what are you doing? Get on YouTube, watch these, because part of the experience of the T3M journey is visual. So you guys are missing out on that. Your thoughts on countering this liberal narrative by using media, movies, series? Okay. Any of you have an answer to that?
I think it's possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's possible, but people have to be very careful because in Islam, the means or the ends does not justify the means, right? We talked recently about how when someone does something the wrong way with the right intention, they get a sin, and when they do something the right way with the wrong intention, they get a sin, right? You need good action and good intention. So if you're putting like music in the movies, or you're showing people's aura in the movies, or you're showing anything that's just haram, that shouldn't be there, and by scholarly opinion, not my own, but by scholarly opinion, then you very well may be sinful. That's something we should avoid. And nowadays, movies and TV shows, they all have a form of that. So people might find it difficult to watch a show that doesn't have certain things like music. So then it's going to encourage you to put music, but then what are you doing? You're falling with the haram. So it's possible. I think it's a good idea. You just have to be careful with how you go about it, in my opinion.
Guys, in every single stream, I have to address these 2 points. One, y'all gotta stop asking the same joke. And number 2, about this, man. Like, come on, we can't be talking about this right now.
Not yet. Inshallah soon.
Inshallah, yeah.
Omar writes, USA seems like a completely different world, bro.
Yeah.
Where you coming from with that? Like where you live?
Yeah, where do you live, Omar?
Because I know USA is different because I've seen like South America and like how their culture is and everything's over there. But for the most part, like we have things that are subtly being pushed in every culture in every country in this world. So America is not that different if you think about it.
I actually never watched it, to be honest.
Okay, let me give you a rapid fire question to both of you. What is the most cringiest misrepresentation of Muslims, or just, I guess, just degeneracy you've seen in anything in your life or lately? Let me know, both of you.
So many to pick from.
So many to pick from, I know. I'll go first. There was a movie called Candyman. Have you heard about it? It's a new horror movie. TLDR, there were 2 couples. All right, 2 couples in the movie, 2 main couples. First couple, heteronormative, but a man completely in his feminine frame, seen as just a simp, completely lost, like he's a child that never got love from his mom. And the wife, who is very dominant and assertive and definitely leading in the interaction, which is weird. So that was one couple out of the 2. And the other one was a gay couple.
I thought you were gonna say there was something like a Muslim couple or something in there.
Nah, like literally, bro, the sub-communicated programming from that is literally 1 in 2 couples are gay. I know like people won't see that, but that's literally what it is.
And then the other one's basically simp.
And the other one is basically role reversed, whatever it is. So
yeah, I mean it's true, bro. Like if you talk to most dudes that are I guess I would say blue pill, but we could take that term out of here and we could just say they're still running off like old programming. They haven't like woken up yet. When they talk about their wives, it's like you ask them like, yo, like let's go get something to eat, or oh, let's go work out, let's go train. Like, let me make sure with the missus first. Let me
ask the missus.
It's like, you know what? If the wife is happy, then I'm happy. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, subhanAllah. It's almost like the thing with the kid that I mentioned before, where the kids see the kids act up on TV, and then the kids in real life act up in real life because of what they see on TV. It's kind of like it's pushing this narrative that the woman is in charge, as Farid was saying. and now all the women are gonna, want to be in charge. But there is a level of that where it's like they have to assume a role of authority because the men aren't. You know what I mean? Like it's a two-way street. There are women that weren't really raised with a proper father, so their mom was in charge, right? Or they didn't have a father, so, and then eventually they had to, try and be the authority. So it is a two-way street. But my example would be, man, I used to watch Prison Break, right? I used to love that show. Then they made a fifth season, right? Completely ruined it for me because they went to some Arabic country and there's all this terrorism, blah, 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 garbage. And you know how they're going to portray that. And the worst part about it is there was a hijabi that ended up like kissing one of the guys. And it's like, if that was a Muslim, her family would like slaughter you in the streets. They like kill you, bro. Like, it's messed up, man.
Food asks, why do you guys think is the best? Okay, maybe you mean what do you guys think is the best step forward for young Muslim man to protect his deen? Knowledge, ilm, understanding, seeking knowledge about Islam.
Awareness. I'd say awareness.
Yeah. I would put that with ilm because it's like knowledge of the reality. You know what I mean? What's going on?
Yeah.
Did you guys interview Hamza? Okay, cool. Quick, okay, thinker. Jazakallah khair for asking that. So, quick little disclaimer right now,
bro. The Thinker.
What'd you say?
His name is The Thinker, not
the
Thinker,
Thinker.
bro. It's The Thinker. You said, thanks, Thinker.
All right, yo, thinker, listen up, bro. Pertaining to the question about Hamza, I want to address one thing right now. Anhel made a point about a minute ago about saying that couple was like that man is operating in, like he's thinking blue pill. Like this whole term, guys, when we use blue pill or red pill, we are speaking objectively about being woke versus not woke. We're not talking about the movement. When we're talking about blue pill, it's like you're literally programmed the way society wants you to be as a man. That's all we're saying. And this leads me to Hamza. So Hamza, he has a self-improvement channel, mashallah. He was born Muslim, but it's a very like male-oriented channel. I'm sure he has viewers that are women, but it's kind of like a self-improvement channel, a little bit of red pill stuff. And recently, he's been in contact with us. He watches our podcast, and he realizes that there's more to life, and he's very interested in Islam. So what we're doing is, at worst, it's going to be one episode. At best, it might be like a mini series, and we are basically going to be documenting his journey to Islam. And inshallah, make dua that he gets guided to it. And he has a lot of questions. So we're going to be filming, inshallah, Tuesday. Expect that it's out sometime within a week after that.
Inshallah.
We got Faraz Zahabi coming up. Guys, I'm giving away everything right now. Come on now. We got Faraz Zahabi. We got Dawood Kim. He messaged me this morning. It's just a matter of booking him in now. We got... I wrote some other people down, inshallah, but good stuff coming up. However, every single Friday, inshallah, you will see us in the morning, just us three, usual weekly episodes nonetheless. Do you mean Hamza Ahmed? Yeah, Hondo. No, bro, that's for you, mashallah. You use beard oil?
Yeah. Jazakallah, bro. The best beard oil, in my opinion, is jojoba. I think it's called jojoba oil. It's only one ingredient, super cheap. You can get like a huge bottle that'll last you for like 6 months, maybe even a year if you use a little bit at a time. And bro, I've found it to be the best stuff because like not only can you put it on your beard, but you can put it on your skin. Is the one oil that I want to say is almost identical to the I think it's called sebum, or just the oil that our skin produces. So it's not gonna make your skin more oily, nor is it going to dry your skin out. It's basically just gonna like keep it just right, and then allow your hair to be at the natural softness that it should be.
Hamza Khan asks, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam, akhi. May Allah bless your efforts. We got to make a link-up event in Toronto ASAP. Inshallah, man. Inshallah. Don't know how Anha's going to get there, but inshallah.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Okay, SP writes, definitely going to watch Firas. It's a hobby. Joe Rogan's never been the same after Firas went into his podcast.
Probably.
Yeah.
You can tell, man, the man was shook.
Yeah. I gotta have some philosophical questions for the man, bro, because y'all saw all I have is like training related questions.
Yeah.
But then again, like maybe that might be good because like y'all will have the physical or the the philosophical, and I'll have the training questions because I'm sure y'all didn't really have much training questions.
Yeah, I didn't.
It balances itself out, bro.
Find your peace, man. Fire is always one, and lead Rami is the one who brings
That's,
the input. Honor is the YouTube sensation, bringing some chill vibes.
That's one way to look at it, bro.
Definitely, bro. Food asks, okay, let's keep it real. If someone is gay or bi and he wanna fix himself, what can he do?
Just come closer to Allah. That's it.
Yeah.
Allah will heal you. Allah will allow you to get past these perceived issues that you have inside your mind. Yeah.
Okay. This kind of relates to Netflix and Hollywood, but how to solve a pee addiction. Okay. All right, let's talk about this. So the first thing I want to say is Netflix and Hollywood, I believe, is a precursor to why men have a pee addiction today, watching pee. Those of y'all on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, once again, what are you doing, bro? Get on YouTube because you're probably like, what is a pee addiction? You know what a pee addiction is. Men and women, definitely. I don't want anyone to think it's just a male issue today, but predominantly men, right? Because women are, they'd rather read romance novels than watch stuff for Allah.
Yo, you'd be surprised. A lot of women nowadays are actually watching.
I would be surprised, bro, but I said they
Nasty.
read romance novels too. Men don't really read romance novels unless they're not in their frame. How to solve that? Okay, so anyway, my point was Netflix and Hollywood, to cut a long story short, they basically are overexposing and objectifying women, kind of contrary to feminism, which they don't want to be objectified, but cool. Walking, talking contradiction. You go outside, women are objectifying themselves. You look at ads and billboards, they're objectifying themselves. And it basically desensitizes your response to women. What happens when it desensitizes your response to a woman? Your wife's no longer going to do it for you. Your wife at home, who's a regular human being, without editing and all this extra abnormal makeup and all that, and post-production and all this, if you guys really know what goes into it, subhanAllah, she's not going to do it for you anymore. So now you need to go and find the next dopamine hit, the next genre.
Yeah, this is what Mahdi said.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally it, bro. This is why lowering your gaze literally does make you masculine.
Yeah.
Because it cuts off this overstimulation and desensitization. It forces you to be okay with less. It's kind of like a dopamine detox for your sexual health.
Yeah, I think Brother Gabriel spoke about this as well. Rami, do you have anything to add before I go in?
No, man, go for it.
All right, so yeah, go back, bro. Go back
Let me try to find
to the
it.
question.
Oh, it basically asks, why is pee addiction here today? I don't think I can find it, bro. Too many comments.
All right, so basically, getting past the porn addiction is a very long process, and it's going to look different for each person. But the first thing is realizing that the society you live in is actually trying to pull you into the addiction. Everything around you is trying to pull you into the addiction. And it might not be direct. Sometimes it will be, but for the most part, it's subtle. It might be like, oh, a car advertisement, and they have the woman on there. And it's like, well, now they're affecting your nafs. They're affecting your sexual desires, or you are probably more prone to actually purchase this car or go to the dealership or whatever it is. Think about it. Think about the advertisement because the girl was in there. So, number one is realizing that the society, everything around you is pretty much set up for you to fail. So that means that you have to really set yourself apart from that and spend less time in social media, in YouTube, in Netflix, and all this stuff. But then when you go out into public, like Fayed said, in regards to what Mahdi said, is you lower your gaze. Now, obviously, Mahdi got that from the Quran. Like Allah told us to lower our gaze for a very clear reason. All right, now you start lowering your gaze. Beautiful. You start spending less time on social media and all this stuff. Beautiful. That's one step of the equation. Now, the next step is the fact that you're going to have desires. You're going to have wants to actually either go and watch this filth or to just release, right? Because you feel like you need to release and stuff like that. And that's where you need to change your lifestyle. See, you can't take something out and then have everything remain the same, because what ends up happening is you're going to inevitably fall back into the same cycle that you were in before. So let's say that your routine is that you come home from work, you eat, you're watching YouTube videos, then you're chilling on your bed. And then from the YouTube videos in the past, you would have gone and started watching that filth. And then from there, maybe you would have watched a little bit more videos, maybe would have played video games or something like that. And then you would have gone to sleep. If you take away the pornography, you take away watching this, but you continue the same routine while you are in bed watching the YouTube videos, you don't think that we are creatures of behavior? You don't think that this pattern is going to try to come back here? And obviously, like, there's going to be something missing. And your body, something inside of you is going to feel like, no, something's not right here. Something's not right. So inevitably, you will end up watching this stuff again. So that's where you have to change your routine. So instead of coming home and eating and then getting on YouTube, why don't you come home and then go for a walk? And then you eat. And then after you eat, instead of getting on YouTube, start reading. And then after you're done reading, then go outside maybe for a nice little tiny walk, or maybe just go and meditate outside. Now, obviously, you're hitting your prayers and all this stuff, alhamdulillah, which you should be. But you add in like this extra stuff and you change up the routine. Now that you changed up the routine, well, there's no previous behavior that we were following. So now we have a new behavior that we are implementing. Therefore, it's more likely that you will stay with this new routine if you keep up with this new routine. That will allow that will allow you to take care of the urges and the cravings that start coming your way. And ultimately, at the very end, now again, like I said, this is going to look different for everyone, but like the last thing that I would implement here is having a specific reason why you are cutting it all off, why you are quitting this. Because if you don't, then it's only a matter of time before the urges become overwhelming and you succumb and fall to the urges. And that's facts.
Allahumma barak. Double B asked, bro, read my comment above. Guys, so we have the comment set to like, if you're a member, if you're a YouTube member, I put the link there, I pinned it. I get to see your comments like above everything else, and then I can like address them. You're guaranteed gonna have it addressed, because there's way too many comments from like, aside from that. So Isa says Satan never forces you into sin. He will manipulate and draw you to it, but it's on you to make. That's facts, bro. A test to this is any of those times anyone has a pee addiction and you feel like you're gonna fall into that, and a part of you is like, I don't want to continue, but then you might end up doing it anyway, or you might not continue. But that little brink, that's free will, guys. That's free will, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah, and people will always start off like with strong motivation, strong passion to quit. But then it's like once one things gets difficult, when things get hard, that's when it sets aside the men from the boys, because it shows you like, okay, how badly do you want to quit? Now that it's like, you know, you have the urges and it's all you can think about, and you feel like it's just completely controlling you. Like, how bad do you want to quit now? Do you want to quit it so bad that you're willing to go through this urge, even if you were dying, even if like you were on your knees, like crying, bleeding out, and everything? Like, would you still want to quit then, or would you succumb at that point?
Let's
See,
get it, bro.
that's the mentality you gotta have. Like, it's if you want to quit, then you gotta be all in till the day you die.
I want to give a quick shout out to Abdul. He is the king of this stream. Became a YouTube member today. We got another YouTube member today. Someone asks, maybe someone asked us before. I don't know if you're talking about yourself there. But will you ever bring fans out on the live, like 10 fans per stream, 3 minutes each, something like that? Fans, okay. I don't like this whole thing about fans. Like it gives this notion that we are above y'all. And I don't like personally, I can't speak on behalf of the brothers at all. We're 3 Muslims, not one, guys. Come on. But me personally, I like this notion that I'm a Muslim, I'm a human being, you guys are human beings too. And I like to keep that in mind. Like, okay, so basically, if you guys see my website here, I'm doing chats, so you can, you know, before you get on the program, you can book a free 30-minute chat. Yesterday I had a free 30-minute chat with you know, a client from he's from Sharjah in the Emirates, and he came and we talked for a good like 30 minutes. At the end of it, he said, bro, I thought, you know, this was going to be weird and I'm going to feel like a fan and I'm going to tell you all this and you're going to act like, you know, holier than thou. But it was very normal, it was very natural, subhanallah. And I just really felt like this, it was just a brother talking to a brother. And I was like, yo, that's how it should be, bro. Wallah, like there's too many people that like they let things get to their head. And may Allah protect us from that. I mean,
I mean, that's what I do with my coaching as well, bro.
But nonetheless, bro,
you keep it real, man, because we ain't nothing special. We just trying to do our part, and that'll be like a shameless plug for both of us, huh?
There you go. You know how someone asked this question, they're a YouTube member, so we gotta answer it. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should do that?
Yeah, I think that'd be dope.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
All right, next member question. I will ask, do you guys believe abstaining from movies and TV shows is realistic in this day and age?
100%. There's two things, right? So I've already lived a lifestyle where I completely stripped away all forms of entertainment, and then I've lived a lifestyle where all I had was entertainment. And I found that, you know what, like, you can do either, but if you're gonna have the entertainment, then there needs to be a place for it, and there needs to be awareness when you're watching the entertainment, because you don't want to just watch anything, right? You don't just want to consume anything. So you got to be very mindful of what you are consuming if you're gonna watch a movie, if you're gonna watch a TV show. But even if you didn't, like, life is amazing without this stuff.
I agree, bro. Couldn't have said it better. Moderation, modesty, that's something that Dean teaches us. What is modesty? Modesty is the tendency to be moderate and to come across as moderate in how you appear to others. It's a very important skill because it's easy to want to flaunt. Modesty is difficult. Next, you remember Abdul. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Wa alaikum salam. Love your channel and jazakallah khair. Man, wa yak, all good from Allah. May Allah accept it from us.
Wa alaikum salam wa Allahumma ameen.
Question about productivity. How you guys organize your schedule and stay productive? Well, king of productivity, go in.
That's you, Rami.
Rami, come on, man.
Wait, what? SubhanAllah. Well, I mean, I was waiting for Angel to go, man.
Nah, bro, you are the king of intimacy
That's the
and
king
the
of
king of
productivity,
productivity.
Man. Allah keep me humble.
Y'all thought he was the king of intimacy, meaning the king of reproductivity, but nah, he also productivity.
That's funny.
Go on.
That's a good one. SubhanAllah. For productivity, man, I'm just gonna, give the advice that these brothers gave to me, which I don't know why they're dubbing me king, but I would say start with making a list of things you want to accomplish. Yeah, exactly. Because the brother knows what's up. Make a list, even if it's just 3 things, and make sure you accomplish those 3 things. Also, you need a clear goal in mind, right? So productivity means that you're working towards something. You're achieving some kind of goal. You're being productive. You're producing good works, basically. So, you know, me sitting watching Squid Game 11 times in a row, which I didn't, but just an example. Wallah al-Alim, bro. Just an
Yo, did you
example.
watch Squid Game or no?
I saw the first episode with my pops, and it looked like it looked entertaining, but it didn't really like. There wasn't much.
It was a wild show, bro. It was very entertaining, but subhanAllah, like just the underlying message is just you walk away with a reduction in your value that you attribute to a human's life. And this is something that I took away. Yes, I took away that you can be at the top, but it basically showed you that to get to the top, you must leave everyone else behind. I know it's a TV show, guys, but subhanAllah, if you don't see the propaganda, may Allah protect you from that.
I mean, I need to finish my example.
Go for it,
Yeah, finish it, bro.
Yeah, but me sitting and watching a show 11 times is not productive, right? You have to be working towards something. You have to have a goal that you can always go back to, right? So if you're working or if you're studying and you don't want to do it, you have to remember why you're doing it. You have to remember the goal, and that knowledge of why, it'll carry you very far, inshallah. And also remember ihsan. You know, a Muslim is supposed to strive for perfection in everything that he does or that she does.
I would only add that in order to be really productive, just start. Like, don't think about it. Just whatever you do, like once you have that list, write it the day before, and wake up and just go. Just do your little routine, whatever you do, and then just start. I don't think, just start.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we also have this idea of yaqeen in Islam, certainty. And my sheikh, he told me there was a study done on people who had like 100% conviction that they will do something versus people with 99%. So there's that. So, you know, when you guys are like, you know, oh, inshallah, I'll do this, or, you know, yeah, probably I'll get to it. You never end up getting to it. It's because that 1% uncertainty, that little bit, it basically becomes 100% in the end, right? But if you're like 100%, I'm going to do it, then like khalas is getting done. So jazakallah khair, man. That was a really, really important point.
Why does your voice sound so deep all of a sudden?
I just woke up not too long ago, man, so I'm tired.
A good book on productivity. Listen,
bro, here's when we
you don't
shameless
have to
plug our
read.
episode we did on productivity and self-improvement hacks. Check that out. But aside from that, you guys have any books?
I would say when it comes to these things, like it's mostly experience, like going through it, and then the little things that people might say here and there. But to spend so much of your time reading these books, it's kind of like mental masturbation. Like you already know the answer. You're just trying to read it to get something more, to get something extra. When it's like it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just make a list. You know what you got to do. Just go and do it. That's it. Very simple. And if you're gonna read, like, read better stuff. You know, like read the hadiths, read the Quran, read different. I don't know, just different things. You could spend your time better. You know, reading things that are better than how to be more productive.
Rami, what would you say to this question? And please read it out loud, bro, for the people that are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and on with us.
All right, bismillah. Program trauma. Disney film have trauma they transmit to kids. Think about Mufasa dying in Lion King. Dependence on a jinn for worldly pleasures, etc. Disney is insidious. I've heard a lot about Disney. Like, they low-key kind of put like images of like, you know, like a penis or something like in the body of Minnie Mouse or something like that in the writing of the words and all that stuff. And you know what? I would honestly fully believe it. I would honestly believe it. And I don't know. To be honest, I'm not well versed on this. I'm not going to say about program trauma or anything like that, but I think it is very likely. It's very possible, because when a kid, you know, sees something like that, you know, it might be traumatizing for some people. I never felt that way about anything, watching cartoons or something die, but I can understand how that would.
Y'all notice after Disney bought Marvel, Marvel's just been degenerate.
Okay, I actually got something to add to that. All right,
Go for it, bro.
Think of it like this, right? You watch this show as a kid, and there's this plot going on, and there's this problem, right? This trauma that's occurring, whatever it is, like there's some kind of problem that the main character has to go through, right? And for some reason, as a kid, you start seeing this, and then you get kind of consumed with this idea that, like, okay, you have to go through this trauma. And actually, I take everything. Disregard what I just said, because I think I just like answered something in my head where I was like, yo, okay, never mind. So disregard that.
Hey, bro. Turkish selfie asked, Aladdin is a classic example attacking the hand cutting within the movie. Princess Jasmine showing her aura while wearing hijab. What is new about that, man?
Yeah,
It's,
true.
will you guys come to the UK? Yes, inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I do believe, at least for me and Anhel, from the limited conversation that I've been having, at least with him lately, maybe Rami can agree with this. Umrah is high on the priority list. I will say that. I won't say that it's above our travels in terms of chronological order, but Umrah's up there. So it's just getting out this whole pandemic situation.
You guys want to end the live stream?
Yeah, we'll end it in 10
Oh,
minutes.
not the live stream, but the live EP. It basically turns to a live stream now.
Yeah. Yo, guys. I mean, we still got the message across. That's a question we've never been asked before.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
The leader of the Muslims.
Yeah, the leader, bro. You had a lot of amazing leaders after that, but come on, you're never gonna have anyone that can compare to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Ismail, did y'all go to Jummah yet? Nah, bro. Jummah is in 3 hours for me.
Yep. It's in
For all of us.
about 2 hours for me.
Ooh, this is tough, bro. This is tough. I agree 100%. Ace says, I hear you, Anhel. I listened to a lot of Tupac back in the day, and I completely embraced thinking I needed to endure and live a thug life, not a righteous one. It's not just Pac, but that's the whole hip hop industry too. Like,
listen, it shows that we are a product of our environment. Like, your environment doesn't just have to be the people that you hang out with. It could be the music that you're listening to all the time. It could be the movies that you're watching. That is your environment because, again, like, you got to think about it. What are we? What are we? We are the ruh. We are the spirit inside this body, which is like a vessel that's allowing us to be in this dunya, experience this dunya, but this vessel will inevitably come to its end, and our ruh will go on to the day of judgment in front of our creator, right? So if we are the spirit, we are always observing. We're always observing everything. Right now, even though I'm speaking, I'm still observing at the same time. You guys are listening. You guys are observing, right? So if you are spending time outside with friends or at school or in some mall or something like that, you are observing everything, all right? And if you are listening to music or watching a TV show, it is no different. You are still observing said thing. So it goes to show that we are a product of our environment. And a lot of people, on a side note, ask me why I have mannerisms like an African American. Why do I speak like an African American? It's because I grew up around African Americans. So that was my environment. I'm a product of my environment. It would be no different if I grew up around a group of very traditional white people, Caucasians. The very proper Caucasian people. Nothing against them, but if I grew up around them, then my mannerisms and the way that I speak would definitely reflect that.
And you wouldn't be downing hot sauce with every meal, bro. That's for sure.
I don't know, boy. Them white people love the hot sauce.
Vibe real quick, bro. How do I gain muscle? Caloric surplus, progressive overload. You wanted a quick answer.
So much to it, though.
The music industry deserves a separate episode. I feel like it's worse. Oof.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, bro.
100%. I think we should cut it off there.
You want to do
And
5 more minutes, bro?
sure, but I think
Only
it's
because
only
Firdos just became a member, so if he or she has a question, why not, man? Firdos, I remember you from last week. Welcome to the cult. Lyrics replace your conscious. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Like y'all have listened to a song in the past and like you're repeating the lyrics in your head and it's like it's kind of like feeding your ego. And like the brother said, he was listening to Tupac and he felt like, living the thug life was like that's what he had to do. And it was like, bro, like I used to listen to so many songs like that. And one of them used to be Drake. And like Drake used to say a lot, so I would repeat it. And then sometimes I would be like, why am I saying this? Or like Lil Wayne or Young Jeezy. I don't know, bro. Like it just stuck for a lot.
Is this pre-recorded? Yeah, bro, it's pre-recorded. This is not a live stream. I know you're looking for, bro. How many times do I have to say like no more, nikah proposals or even inquiries? But I don't know, man.
I am looking for a wife.
But he listens to 3 Pac.
3 Pac. Sunnah. Yep. That's why they say that the Quran and music can't exist in the same art.
Okay. Guys, wrap up last final questions and then we will end off this episode.
Yeah, and for everyone watching, just know that it's Rami, before you answer that, things are only gonna get better in terms of our lives. Because we plan on doing the live EPs, and even though this one kind of turned to like a live Q&A towards the very end, I don't know why. And know that the way that we do videos or the way that we've done videos in the past where they were pre-recorded, when it's just us three, we want to do these videos, but instead of pre-recording it, we're going to throw it in live and really stick to these topics and like go into these videos as if we were pre-recording it. It's just that we will open up the comment section to those that are members. That way we are not being bombarded by so many questions that we completely veer off track like we did in this video. So
that's essentially it from next week on.
So if you're not a member, become a member because things are about to get real spicy over here, boy. We about to bring the Tabasco, the Sriracha out. So
There we go.
Actually, no, it's called Shatta.
Shatta.
Wow. We're about to bring the Shatta. So y'all gotta be ready for that.
Inshallah. All right then. Golden Calf agrees to what you're saying. Keep it limited to the topic. Relevant questions only. Obviously for members, floor is open to you. For real though, love y'all streams. Enjoyed a lot. Who's your next guest? Well, rewind the video. We talked about the next guest coming up. Inshallah. All right. So Rami.
With that being said, Rami, end it off.
اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Go get some sleep, bro. Assalamu alaikum.
I had to, bro. I had to pin that.
Nah, come on, bro.
I swear I was just about to leave, but I had a feeling, so I stayed.
What do I do for fun? Listen, primarily I do martial arts for fun. Anything physical, anything like exercise related. It could be rock climbing, it could be ninja warrior training. It could just be going for a walk or stuff. Every now and then I might play a video game or I might watch anime, but again, mindfully consume these things for a purpose, for a reason.
Guys,
That's
and
it. My phone's about to die. So, with that being said, assalamu alaikum.
wa alaikum. Yo, Rami. We treat our YouTube members here with love, just like family, just like they're part of the T3M family, you know? So Firdaus became a member today. Wallahi, this will be the last question that we answer today because, you know, Firdaus became a member, so we got to honor that. Assalamu alaikum. I have a little question. What do you think about parents sending their children from a Muslim to non-Muslim countries? Inverse hijrah, more specificity, or more specifically, when it comes to sending their girls to live alone. Rami, thoughts?
Well, I mean, it really depends on the situation, and I'm going to be completely frank. If you're sending a guy, it's not haram. If you're sending a woman by herself, it may very well be haram because a woman is not supposed to travel by herself, let alone be in a kafir country by herself. You know, the amount of suffering that she could go through potentially. May Allah protect her and all the women. Allahumma ameen is there. Whereas for a man, like no one really cares to like assault a man sexually or harass a man. It's like men are like they're not valued, they're not looked at in that way. So it is haram for a woman to go off on her own like that. But I would say it really depends. Some of these countries are war torn. Some of these countries sometimes they come just get an education and go back home because the education here is valued more back home and they'll make a lot more. So it really depends on the situation as possible. But I would say primarily for men. There's a lot of fitna that can come about from that. So, they have to be very, very careful. It might be better to keep them there. Allahu A'lam.
All right, Rami. Until next week, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.